So a little over a week ago, we got back from Tanzania, and of course there's a lot of stuff that we would like to tell you about, so that's what this presentation is for. So way back in early September was when we had our first meeting to sort of get to know the trip a little bit, and also when we started fundraising for this trip. So originally we thought that we would need to raise $16,000, but that number eventually raised to $18,000. So we had to start fundraising as soon as we could. And so this is a picture from one of our first fundraisers, which was a car wash. So it was a really good moment to sort of get to know each other, but also get the ball rolling on the Tanzania project. And so another really important part for preparing for Tanzania was also learning about the country of Tanzania and also about service work. So we spent a lot of time learning about agriculture, a little bit about the language, farming techniques, water conservation, stuff like that. And so this is a picture from one of our classroom experiences where we discussed with a nutritionist on sort of the best things that we can do for these people. And one of the final steps of getting ready for Tanzania was gathering our business sponsors. And these were companies which were sort of willing to provide us a little bit of money to help us cover the financial side of going to Tanzania, and then also some of the more material sides. So, for example, Xylem donated us a water pump, and Follow the Honey did some work with us for future projects. And so 1 week before the trip, we finished all of our fundraising. It was a really awesome moment, and this is a picture of us about to leave school for the last time to go on the trip. And this is us in the airport with our Tanzania shirts on right before we go on the trip. And if you look at this picture and then a picture of when we came back, you can definitely see a difference in the students and just from the work that we did.
So as many of you know, this was our 4th year as a part of this trip and our 3rd year on going to our 2nd week trip in Lake Natrona. So one of the best parts for me especially, as this was my 2nd time on this expedition, was seeing all the hard work that's really come to in the past. So in the first week, the past 2 years I've been working in a school called Kitabu. As you can see, this was some of the work that happened there last year. We visited there this year and saw how all the hard work had really come together. Projects that we've been working on for 2 years had finally come through. They've even been able to install a fence which improved their security, because one of their biggest issues was that people would just steal the stuff that the school got. So all of the hard work of the NA schools came together to build these teacher accommodations, bathrooms, fence, all this stuff. Also, as many of you know, I was part of the first year to go to the Lake Natrona area. So the first year we established a small test plot just to see what we could do and to start let people know that it was possible to achieve our goal, which was feed all 600 students 2 meals a day year round. The second year, we reworked the original test plot to make just to increase our yield, as you can see here. We also fenced off a much larger plot so that we can actually produce the sheer quantity of food we need, and started growing bits of maize in that plot. Then this year, we expanded upon what we'd done last year.
Alright, so the first week we spent in Tanzania was spent at Usa River in Arusha. Here we came together with 80 non-Anglia students from all around the world. So we had students from Mexico, Florida, China, Vietnam, and Qatar. So the first day we spent mostly just socializing with the other schools as we waited for everyone else to arrive. So for example, we had a lot of fun playing volleyball with Mexican students. The second and third day we spent at this camp, we actually went on safari for 2 days. We went to a national park called Tarangire National Park. Stayed there for 24 hours, so overnight. We saw a variety of animals, including elephants, giraffes, ostriches, impalas. We saw a couple lions too. On the way back, we stopped at this place called Shanga, which employs people with disabilities and gives them a chance to earn some money and have a job. What they do is they take recycled materials and they make traditional Maasai clothing and jewelry out of them. They also do some glass blowing. And so we actually got a chance to see what people do, and we got a chance to also make some of our own.
All right, after we went out to safari, we began our service work for the trip. This basically included building goat sheds, putting solar panels in the homes of locals, and building smokeless stoves. Now the reason for this was basically the goat sheds were a good way to have sustainable support for the local economy. And we worked with the people there to basically build up these sheds, and we gave everyone goats and everything. We put in what's it called, smokeless stoves, basically to improve the health over there, because there was a lot of like diseases and stuff that are caused by burning wood in your home. It really helped get rid of that. And the solar panels were big because many people didn't have lights in their homes because there wasn't really infrastructure around that area. So by doing this, we changed a lot of lives by just giving them light that many families didn't really have in their homes.
So in the last 2 days of our first week, we went to a school called Nazarati. It's a primary school. We continue the work that has been doing by other North Anglia schools. We went there to finish the teacher accommodations and the kitchen. It was important for the school to have teacher accommodations because that would encourage some more teachers to work in that school. We cemented the wall. It was hard physical work. Like you can see that wheelbarrow full of dirt. It's very heavy, and some of us carry like 10 journeys each day.
So we had a day of resting and recovering, and then we went up, well, we drove 6 hours north to a place called Lake Natron. This is the place that Yuan was talking about, saying this is the third year of us going there. The drive was pretty interesting. So it was crazy to, and you'll see in the video that we show later on, we went from being in a really busy city to going kind of just in the middle of nowhere on a tarmac road to going through this for 4 hours. It was pretty fun. They called it an African massage when we were going over the bummies. We all enjoyed that.
So the camp we stayed at was called the Lake Natron Camp. It was based off of just next to the lake, and it was kind of a touristy camp which we were allowed to stay at. So here's a photo that you can see of the kind of central area of the camp. This is where we kind of had our daily briefing for what we're going to do, where we ate, where at night we'd sit aside, we'd look at the stars, which were quite beautiful here because it was so remote that there wasn't really light pollution, but we might experience here in a more urban area. And here's a photo of all of us eating breakfast together. The food there was actually really nice because it was grown fresh from the farm of the previous years we'd worked on. And it was always nice to just kind of sit together as a group and enjoy the meal after a hard day of work.
So before our service work, the plot or the site that we worked at was filled with these tree kind of weeds that would just grow. And the site that we worked at actually just was covered in all of these. So most of the first day we spent just clearing it so we can actually grow some food there to build from there. So after all of that, we got it to look like this. And so we did a lot of work. We moved a lot of stones actually, so we can put the water tank on a level. And we also dug up this 2-meter hole so we can get water from the river into the tank. And we used the pump that we showed you guys earlier on in the year to transfer the water from the pond area kind of thing to the tank so we can use it for drip irrigation in our later farming. And so at the last day we were able to actually start planting some seeds. So we planted some peppers, some cucumbers I think, all sorts of kind of plants. And that's what it looked like after we cleared everything. And that's us helping the locals learn how to use the pump. So while we were here, we had a lot of frustrations, just physically and mentally. So we had to first adjust to the temperature and working in these kind of conditions. And also when we did go do a job for our first day or even our second or third, we were given what we were supposed to, we were given a goal for the day, but we were never given direct directions. So they would say, oh, let's dig up a hole 2 meters deep. And so first problem was there wasn't enough tools for everyone. Even though we raised that much amount of money, we still didn't have enough tools for all of us to be using at the same time. So a lot of times we had to find smaller jobs to do without a tool. And a lot of the times it would just be like moving in some dirt or moving some rocks. And a lot of the time we felt that we weren't really doing anything, we weren't really helping. But once we saw those pictures, those before and after pictures, we saw how much we actually accomplished within our 5 days there.
So while working in Neutron, we got to interact with local people a lot more than we did in Arusha. There was 10 kids from the local school who came down and helped us. There was our guides who were all locals. There was Dowdy, who was kind of a farmhand who helped work on the farm year round. And Layla, who kind of helped organize the whole thing. It was really interesting working with them. They spoke the local language there is Maasai, and they were trying to teach us a few words. And amazingly enough, they're not getting too frustrated when we were very bad at learning it. And it was often nice to get to interact with them and learn a bit more about their culture. Here's a photo of us with our whole group. You can see us with our group, local kids who wear green. You can see the guides who are kind of wearing the dark green, and just generally everyone was kind of getting along and working together. After that, after we finished working, we'd always kind of do an activity for the day, visiting a local village, or here you can see a photo of us visiting the salt flats that are around Neutron. So, and that gave us a bit more downtime to speak with the local kids a bit more. And the other thing that really struck me was how people who weren't necessarily directly involved in our project would often just come in and help. So here we can just see 2 local kids who just came in, just in the middle of the day, like during one of their break times, to help us trample down dirt. And that was really interesting to see how engaged the local community was.
So on the final activity we've done of our work, our guys thought it would be really nice for us to visit this waterfall. This waterfall took 40 minutes to hike to, and we were walking along, like, would you consider it cliff face?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were walking through water, but honestly, when we got there, it was so stunning. It took all of our breath away, and there's a few clips in the video that we have next, and then, so we were climbing the walls, not all of us, because it's a bit dangerous, but it was truly incredible to end it on that note.
So Alice put together a video of our fun times, pictures at work, videos at work. So we're going to play that for you, so please sit back and enjoy.
Giving me all of you. Oh, it's true. Losing myself, I found me There's something I can't hide. You're always in my head, something I can't deny. No, you take me to that place, a place I can't resist. Loving you is bliss, I've no doubt. I'm in heaven when I'm with you. I'm in heaven when I'm with you. 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 When I'm with you.
So, though we've done a lot of hard work throughout this trip, there's still more work to be done. So here's some of the future plans that we have so far for next year and years to come. So, now beekeeping, educating the students about agriculture, and just fixing some of the small problems in the farm. So, in terms of beekeeping, we teamed up with Follow the Honey. Follow the Honey is a company that's based in Cambridge that produces honey worldwide. And our plan is, we talked with Maria and David, who are from Follow the Honey, about bee knowledge. We know nothing about bee knowledge and just general gist of stuff. Beekeeping will be a great addition to the project because it can be used for medicinal purposes, it can be used for consumption, and it can provide source of income for the locals because it can be used to provide income for the school. In terms of educating the students on agriculture, Layla had a meeting with the school about adding into the curriculum called self-reliance, and the plan is to have the students work on testing out new ideas, new crops, so that it gives Dowdy more time to work on growing maize year-round. And in terms of the small issues around the farm, so one of them is, so Xylem was kind enough to provide us with a step pump, and that's used to fill this massive 5,000 liter tank. It's really great at doing that. The only issue that is that if someone were to fill up the entire tank, it would take about 3 hours. And for Dowdy, our farmhand to do that every single day would be quite inefficient. So we decided to invest in a solar pump. Another issue is during UN's first year, we installed a biodigester, and the two purposes were to provide nutrient for the soil and to use the methane that comes out for cooking. And when we got there, the faucet for methane was broken, so we're trying to provide more, to get more durable material so we can use it for cooking. And finally, what's it called? The crops that we're growing in the farm are getting a lot more sunlight, so they're becoming very dehydrated because of evaporation. So we had the idea of planting trees so it prevents the crops from becoming very dry.